Close your eyes for a moment and imagine this. It's 1800, the year 1800. You walk up to someone and say, one day we'll talk to people across the ocean through invisible waves. They probably laugh, or worse yet, they might burn you at the stake. But fast forward to today, we're FaceTiming people across the oceans through the power of invisible waves. And you're probably listening to me on a wireless device right now. What was once considered magic is now mundane. It's 1904, and a young patent clerk in Switzerland suggests that time, the very backbone of reality, isn't absolute. And guess what? People laughed. Scientists scoffed. Before 1905, the speed of light as a constant sounded absurd. People believed time was fixed. Einstein proved time bends, space curves, and energy equals mass squared. That formula came from a man willing to ask metaphysical questions about reality, like what is time and what is space? He was ridiculed at first. Even Max Planck told him, "You'll never succeed against the tide of conventional thinking." Yet here we are, living in an age of GPS satellites that literally adjust for time dilation. Einstein's crazy idea at work in your phone. His ideas didn't just tweak physics, they shattered everything we thought we knew. And that brings us to the big question. What if the concepts we dismiss as woo-woo today, things like energy healing, consciousness beyond the brain, or the power of thought, are simply tomorrow's science, waiting for an Einstein moment? Hello, everyone. I'm Dr. Esi Quaidoo, and welcome to the Smile Code, where curiosity is power and authenticity is the ultimate freedom. Einstein once said, "The most beautiful thing we can experience is the mysterious. It is the source of all true art and science." Mystery isn't the enemy of truth. It's the birthplace of truth. As humans, we crave certainty. So when someone dares to suggest an idea that doesn't fit into our neat little boxes, what happens? We laugh. We ridicule. We call it nonsense. Now, Schopenhauer nailed it when he said, "All truth passes through 3 stages. First, it is ridiculed. Second, it is violently opposed. And third, it is accepted as self-evident." For centuries, the geocentric model that the Earth was the center of the solar system dominated mainstream thought. It wasn't just science, it was theology, it was politics, and it was culture. And in the early 1600s, Galileo supported Copernicus's heliocentric model, which proposed that the sun, not the Earth, is the center of the solar system. His telescopic observations, like the moons of Jupiter and the phases of Venus, supported this view. But the response at the time? He was accused of heresy, forced to recant, and spent his last years under house arrest. Today, the heliocentric model is foundational science. Today we're going to look at the ideas that went through those stages and ask, what's next? So let's time travel. Let's talk about atoms. In ancient Greece, Democritus said everything was made up of tiny invisible particles, which he called atomos. People rolled their eyes. For centuries, this was a metaphysical idea, not a measurable fact. Fast forward to the 20th century, and the atomic theory is the foundation of modern science. Now let's look at germ theory. Before Louis Pasteur, people believed disease came from bad air, curses, even moral failings. Invisible germs? That was absurd. But that was until microscopes made them undeniable. Now let's look at meditation. For centuries, meditation was seen as a mystical religious ritual. Now, neuroscience proves it rewires the brain, reduces stress, and even alters gene expression, as in epigenetics. What monks knew intuitively, science now measures with MRI scans. See the pattern? What starts as speculation often becomes science when our tools catch up. And the pattern repeats. Every great leap forward, whether it's heliocentrism, relativity, or quantum physics, starts as an outrageous claim before becoming common sense. So what's on today's list of ideas we call crazy, but might someday call obvious? One such idea would be consciousness beyond the brain. Materialist science says the mind lives in the brain, but near-death experiences and quantum theories hint that consciousness might be non-local, bigger than our bodies. Now, what about energy healing and vibrational medicine? Reiki, sound baths, frequency theory? Critics dismiss them, yet Einstein reminded us that everything is energy, and that's all there is to it. Physics shows vibration affects matter. Why not biology? And then there's the law of attraction. Thoughts become things. Sounds mystical until you learn about the reticular activating system in your brain, which filters reality based on your focus. Neuroscience says what you look for, you see. That's manifestation in action. And what about multi-dimensions in time? Einstein killed the idea of absolute time. Now physicists flirt with multiverse theories, higher dimensions, and even time as an illusion, all ideas that once belonged in metaphysics. If history teaches us anything, it's this: today's woo can become tomorrow's wow. Now, why do we resist the unseen? Well, Einstein warned us when he said, unthinking respect for authority is the greatest enemy of truth. We resist because uncertainty feels dangerous. It threatens the structures that make us feel safe. But progress doesn't happen in certainty. It happens in curiosity. Every leap forward from relativity to quantum theory started as a question that made people uncomfortable. How do we live in this space between mystery and proof? Stay curious, Einstein said. The important thing is not to stop questioning. Question everything. The second thing is to experiment with wonder. Try mindfulness, energy work, visualization. Test it for yourself and see how it feels. The third way is to release rigidity. Dogma, whether scientific or spiritual, will kill innovation. And authenticity, the heart of the Smile Code, thrives in curiosity, not certainty. So if metaphysics is the imagination of the universe, then science must be the language it speaks when we're ready to listen. So here's my challenge to you. The next time you hear an idea that sounds outrageous, pause before you laugh and ask, what if this is just science that hasn't been measured yet? Science that doesn't have the tools yet to make this self-evident. Because every breakthrough that changed the world was once considered impossible, lunacy, until someone dared to believe it might be true. So an answer to the question, is today's metaphysics tomorrow's science? I guess the answer is a profound yes. When we look at the atomic theory, the mind-body connection, energy fields and vibration, multiverses and non-locality, metaphysics explores possibilities that science hasn't yet developed tools to measure, and science often plays catch-up to metaphysics. So why does this matter for you, or why is it even important or relevant? Because just like metaphysics often becomes science, the unseen work you do on your inner world becomes the visible reality of your outer world. Smile Mastery, your Smile Code, is your personal laboratory where intention, gratitude, and authenticity turn into confidence, joy, and impact. Every time you choose curiosity over fear, or smile over doubt, you're proving a universal truth. What starts as energy becomes experience. That's a wrap for today. So until next time, keep smiling, keep questioning, question everything. And remember, the future belongs to those who dare to believe before the proof shows up. See you soon.